So what about you? You gonna tutor brilliant minds like my brother forever?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I'm just trying to get through the day.
We're done.
What? No, 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 no,
I
no.
can't be with someone who can't be himself.
You look like you haven't slept in days.
Since you were brought here in 2008, you weren't eligible for DACA.
What if I'm married?
Hunter?
Oh, I feel used.
God
Is that a bear?
No,
Am I a bear?
you're a shrimp.
Hi, I'm Hunter. I'm a shrimp.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
I want to tell you, I was unprepared at 10 o'clock this morning when I watched your movie, but I'd be reaching for a box of tissues too. So thank you for that. Would you mind very briefly telling us in your own words what it's about?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for watching the film and talking with me about it. So, yeah, it's about a young man who lives in this country who's just wants to live his life. And unfortunately, because of the situation of the country and how he was brought here, he's not able to be himself. And how he can figure out a way to be himself and enlist his best friend, his best friend from high school in order to do that.
Spencer, it's based on a true story, but what motivated you to make this movie?
Yeah, so for years, I've known about Alberto's status. My best friend, I met him in middle school,
Mhm.
and I wasn't sure in high school why he wouldn't stay out late at parties, why he was nervous about certain things, why, he would follow the rules of the learner's permit to the T, wouldn't let any people in the car, even a drive from the high school to the senior lot, which was like, less than a quarter of a mile. Why he wouldn't just let us into his car to do that was because he needed to follow every letter of the law
Mhm.
because he risked, being deported from this country. And I had no idea until he told me senior year of high school. And I couldn't believe that he didn't have the same rights as me. And so fast forward a few years, I go to film school and I'm like, how do we talk about this issue? I need to write something to get my emotions down on the page. And so about 10 years ago, I started writing that. And then through various late night messages back and forth with him, this story formed and took shape into the film that you got to watch.
This is a discovery to me because I assumed it was made some time ago, and I've only just started hearing about ICE. So you're really educating us. I'm one of those lucky immigrants. I'm here and I was safe, and I did the process before the first term of Trump. Do you think it's better because I'm gay, but I'm white and English? Is it much easier for me? Are they racist?
Well, I think it's easier for you in certain ways, and they're just against immigrants in many
Mhm.
ways. Yeah, I think it's they're starting to do some racial profiling, and unfortunately, people who I mean, dreamers are getting swept up in this, which is the real reason we made this film is. There are a group of people here who have been here for decades, since they were children. They have
Mhm.
no memory or very little memory of the land they were born in. And, they're at risk of being sent back to that land where there may not have a single soul they know. So yeah, I think that that should be something that we can get solved. I would hope that's something that we can figure out what to do. And I hope this film can help raise a little bit of awareness about this issue.
I don't know how you knew this, but you pitched the immigration interview perfectly. They want serious answers to funny questions. And I remember in my case, she told me to read something, and I sat there and she know out loud. So I know it's a very funny process, and I'm glad you covered it. Although the end result is not always good. This is an important film for not just gay people. Uh, what are your plans for its release? Do you have any screenings specifically for immigrant audiences?
Yeah, so well, we're released world or not worldwide, but US Canada on September 16th, and we're trying to set up some smaller theatrical screenings because it's actually a really fun film to see in a theater with a lot of other
Yeah.
people. We've been touring around the film festivals for the past year from, Maui to
Mhm.
Massachusetts where we shot
Yeah.
this film. And it's fun to watch a comedy like this and laugh with people and cry with people and think with people and come out of the theater afterwards and
Mhm.
talk about your experience. So it works really well in a theater. So actually this Sunday I set up a hometown screening. We have a lovely little art house cinema in the town where we shot part of this film. We're going to do a screening there and donate a portion of the proceeds to the Massachusetts Immigration Relief Agency. And we sell T-shirts on our site that all the proceeds go to the Massachusetts Immigration Relief Agency. Just trying to give back in any way we can. And yes, we are working to set up some more screenings
Good.
for those audiences because I can't tell you the amount of people that came up to me after film festival screenings and told me about their immigration story. Like, hey, like you said, you nailed this scene. You nailed that scene. Like, how did you know? Like, this is what the
Yeah.
house looked like. This is the bracelet my mom gave me. How did you know that? And I knew all that because I hired the right people. I hired cast and crew who have been through this process before, and and I was just like, I got on, interviews with people for hours, and I was like, tell me what this looks like, tell me what this feels like.
Mhm.
I knew going into this, as depicting some communities that I'm not a part of, that I needed to make sure that this was a super authentic experience for everybody involved
Mhm.
and that we're not just making a film for the general audience.
Yeah.
We want to make a film for dreamers so that when they watch it they see themselves on screen, and I'm pretty proud of how that turned out.
I don't know if you know, I'm also in Massachusetts right now in Provincetown.
Oh,
And
nice.
do you know that he sent the ice into Boston last week?
Yeah, I did see that.
Because of who we are.
Yeah.
What's next for you after the film? Do you know yet?
Yeah, so I wrote a film called 30 Dirty and Trying, and it's about my wife and I trying for our first child.
Mhm.
And the morning of a night shoot on the Compatriots, we found out that my wife had miscarried. And so I had to
Mhm.
go into it was actually the Julia bar scene. It's the scene where Hunter
Yeah.
and Javi reunite. And I had to go and direct that comedy kind of thing while I had this heavy thing hanging over me. And thankfully, my producer had gone through something very similar, and so she was able to be a support. And my wife is there. She is very brief, but Dakota, who plays Ryan, is chatting with a girl at the bar, and then when we turn back, that girl is gone.
Oh
It's
yes.
just an empty bar stool. That's my wife. So
Okay. I'll go back and rewatch it.
yeah, yeah, that's my wife, and we went through a really tough time that morning, and she came to support
Right.
me. And after the film, I had to get my emotions out about this issue somehow, and I just word vomited an entire feature script, and I was like, hey, this is actually pretty good. And now we're going out to some actors in the next
Good.
couple of weeks, so hopefully we'll get it off the ground.
I really like your comic, the humor you put in. What is this very serious story? So I have one thing to ask you. If you're going to make a remake, can Jarvie actually consummate the marriage?
Maybe, we talked about bringing the boyfriend back. It's an interesting love between the two of them. And it's the love that, I have for my best friend. Just such an amazing guy, and I would do anything for him. So,
I,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad you do it because even your statement, that relationship that we have with our straight friends is very important to us. Thank
Yes.
you again for the film. I wish you all the success on it as it rolls out. And
Thank you.
thank you for spawning my morning.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
There's no difference between you and me. You're just as much as an American as I am, and I want to make that permanent. I mean, it'll be just like old times, you and me. I used to just watch the chicks in porn, and now I'm drawn to the dudes.
Jesus.
Hands up! He's mine!
You don't know your name? Aye, aye.
Where's my nose?
Ah! Oh. Here we go. You want me to tuck you in?
No, I'm okay, thank you.
Sure, I do a mean burrito.
That's really offensive, dude.
Sorry.